Hello, my beautiful besties. It's your girl Nelly. If you're part of my nail crew, welcome back. And if you're not, consider subscribing right now and become part of my amazing nail crew. Here, I had already applied my peel off method, my tips, and a thin layer of clear acrylic. Now, I have to say, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but in the middle of filing, for the first time, one of the nails popped. So I got to figure that out. So, anyways, for this set, I'm going to be using double rhythm, and this is in the color MC1185. It's a beautiful cat eye, and just wait until you see it, bestie. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's a green jelly, and it has some gold shimmers in it. So the theme here, I'm trying to go for, because of course, once you see a color, it kind of inspires you to doing something. So I was looking into my stamping plates, and I found this one. And of course, I'm going to be using my Mineology Gold because the color has gold in it. And this one is Heart of Gold B187. I do have some links in the description box. Check them out to see if the codes still work. Because I haven't worked with this company in a while. I'm going to be using Mia's Secret acrylic in the color of golden. And so, like I was saying, it just gives me enchanted garden. So that's what I was going for. So what I decided to do is I'm going to do a design with the gel polish. I'm going to activate the magnets within the gel, and then I'm going to cure for 60 seconds. I'm going to repeat the same process for my middle finger and my pinky, and then I'm going to leave my ring finger and my thumbnail to do a full cover, um, a full cover of the cover color. Um, Excuse me, it's kind of like I forgot how to talk all of a sudden. So let me start by giving my shout out. So shout out to everyone who takes the time to watch my videos. Shout out to everyone who likes, comments, and share my videos. It helps me out a lot here on YouTube. Shout out to everyone who's new to my channel. Welcome to my Necro Bestie. Thank you so much for joining the crew. Shout out to my moderators and shout out to my Patreons. Thank you so much for your love and support. And thank you so much for your donation to my channel. If you're interested in joining my membership, don't forget it is for $4.99 a month. That will be taken out of your account every single month. So if there's a month that you cannot pay for it, it's completely fine. I understand. You can unsubscribe from the membership and then resubscribe and join again if you like to. There's 2 bling classes there available for my members and 1 3D nail art. Soon we're gonna be having a second nail 3D flower class because I know the girls enjoyed it very much. Now, let's get to stamping. So, the nails that I'm wearing are coffin, right? So, I thought that it would look okay if I do this design um, on both corners, but I then I looked closer and then I figure it's not gonna have enough space. So I only did it on one side of the nail. It still looked very beautiful. I didn't have to apply the sticky base for the stamping plate because the double rhythm gel polish already has a sticky layer. So I kind of took advantage of that and I decided to just apply it, and it transferred very well. I didn't have any problems whatsoever. I'm just going to take off whatever residue is left. And then I'm going to repeat the same process for my middle finger and my pinky. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope you guys like today's design. This was a really, I didn't really plan to do this set. I just couldn't sleep and I figure I might as well just record a video since I have, the time and I can't sleep. So, I remember seeing a set very similar to this one on Pinterest a while ago. Unfortunately, I didn't take a screenshot, so I cannot give the proper, you know, shout out to the original creator. Um, but the idea essentially came from Pinterest. Um, And of course, I've seen other ladies do something similar as well. I have to be very honest. So I did 3D flowers for this set. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned to that. And then on these nails in particular, I did some 3D flowers, but I'm so used to doing big flowers that when it came to the small flowers, it was a little hard. So I did those off camera because again, I'm so used to doing big flowers and big petals. And I was like, I don't know how this is going to go. So I'm just going to keep this part to myself. It went well. I don't know. You give me, your input on your opinion on how I did. I think I should have used a smaller brush because with this number 4, you can get some decent sized petals. Um, but it's a little hard to do small ones. And I do have a smaller brush. I have no idea why I did not use it. Um, I think it's because the brush is brand new, just like I just recently purchased a number 5, which is a bigger brush to do even bigger petals. And you're gonna see why in this video. So, you know, I usually, whenever I'm trying something new, I like to practice before I record a video. So I think that's the reason why I didn't go ahead and just use the number 2 brush. So as you can see, this is what we're having. This is what we have so far. I'm going to apply some base coat to protect that stamping. So I'm going to use double rhythm base coat, as you can see, and I'm just going to apply a thin coat. This is again just to protect the stamping image from the monomer, because I know if I don't protect it, the monomer is just going to definitely ruin the design, and I was not trying to do that. So I just apply a thin coat and then I cure for 60 seconds. So what I'm going to be doing for these nails is I'm going to do an ombre with the color golden from Mia Secret. So Mia Secret is a good brand. It's an easy brand to find on Amazon. Um, you have to be careful, especially in the summer, because it tends to dry a little bit on the faster side. So, the first time I use it in a while, it takes me some time to get the perfect bead, or a good enough bead. But all I do is I apply my bead just in the center of my nail, and then I make sure it reaches both side walls, and then I start to blend it in as fast as possible before it starts to set, because if it starts to set, it's not going to look like an ombre. um, some people like their ombres to go further down. However, I prefer my ombres to go just about there. So my second bead is going to be my cuticle bead, and I'm not going to place it very close to the cuticle. However, I am going to push that acrylic up to reach my cuticle area and making sure it reaches both my side walls without flooding them. The second I do that, I start to blend it in really fast again, because this acrylic can set pretty fast. So I was trying not to have a big lump of acrylic there on my nail. It looks pretty big big right now, but I kind of level it out with the clear acrylic once I start encapsulating the design. I like to encapsulate the designs because of the shape. I love gel polishes, but I personally, and this is just personal preference, I I personally like to encapsulate my sets rather than just paint the nail. I know that's something that I definitely will have to master, obviously, um, because I don't know. I need to work on my nail art. But this color is so beautiful. The entire collection actually is very, very beautiful. I recently did a second haul um where I showed you guys other collections that I purchased. And after I recorded that video, um well, actually, before I recorded that video, I noticed that Double Rhythm had a sale on Amazon. And of course, by the time you're watching this video, the prices might have changed. I'm not entirely sure, but um, so yeah, I took advantage and I purchased, I think it was two more collections, and then I purchased two single colors. One of the single colors is a very beautiful color. I don't know if I'm going to do another haul with Double Rhythm. I want to, but that's, by the time you're watching this video, I'll probably have made up my mind and decided whether to do it or not. So let's see what happens. Double Rhythm is a brand that, it's catching a lot of, you know, um, it's kind of going viral because it's a really good brand. And, we are so, at least content creators, we are so used to these companies reaching out to us and sending us, from different companies. But, you know, when I first started my YouTube channel, it was okay because, I was starting to build everything, and that's how I actually, my collection increased in regards to gel polishes. I worked with companies with polygel and acrylic. I mean, yeah, I actually did acrylic. Um, and I'm slowly starting to detach from doing all of that. Um, and again, this is all just personal reasons. I have talked about it in the past. And, it's kind of unfortunate the fact that, yeah, it's cool when when you're not working, and they send you a product, you're excited because they send you something, they're considering you to be um an ambassador or whatever it is that they offer. But in my personal experience, a lot of these companies are not really what they say they are. And, they send you a product, they want you to do a video by a certain time. And for someone who's not working, it's perfectly fine. But I have a full time job. And then on top of that, I have my family too. So, it's kind of difficult for me to receive stuff from a brand. And, you know, for example, I have a very recent situation where a company recently reached out to me. I'm not going to say the name of the company, of course. And, I didn't realize that in the email, they put a date. And unfortunately, I've been so busy with work. My health has not been the greatest either. I haven't had the chance to go to the post office to pick up the package. And the person was already emailing me, "Oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait to see your video. Remember to post it by before the 4th of July." And I read the email and I'm like, "What? What is she talking about?" So I sent an email back saying, "Listen, you know, um, I don't remember you giving me a deadline, and I have a full-time job. So it's not like I can just stop the world or stop my life to just do a video, which I'm not getting paid for. Yeah, I'm getting a free product, but if I miss a day of work, I calculate how much I get paid in a day, and then I'll calculate how much I'm technically getting from the product, and it doesn't add up. Plus, they don't pay me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's not worth it. And I'm sorry to rant about this all of a sudden, but that's the reason why I decided to not work with several companies. I've had the wonderful opportunity, of course, to work with companies that, they're very understanding. They don't rush me. I just don't, I'm so used to being pressured that I'm just like, I just need to take some time, and if anything, I'll reach back. So, and it has happened with certain companies, but there are other companies, man, that they don't care. All they care about is selling their product, and that's it. No benefit for me, aside from the free product that I can easily buy myself. And with a day's worth of work, I'll buy the product and then have money extra. You know what I'm saying? So it, it's difficult in my situation. Um, so I don't think I'm gonna be collaborating with companies for a little while, because of course I have to take care of me, and I have to take care of my job, because that's what's paying my bills, that's what putting food on the table. And when you have kids, that is priority no matter what. So with that being said, I'm sorry for the rant, y'all. It's like I had to get it out of my system, because I don't I don't consider it fair that, some companies just don't care. Anyways, so here I'm just encapsulating the set with my Melody Susie Clear. And then I'm just going to show you this nail. I did 2 layers of clear acrylic. I'm going to give you a side look of how that nail looks like. And then I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of the nails off camera. As you can see there, the cover color looks a little bit lump, but that's something that it can be easily fixed with filing. Um, all I need is a proper structure. So that lump right there, I have to file it off a little bit. So everything was going fine. This is after I finished encapsulating all 3 nails, but I was not counting on that pinky. It flew away. I wasn't even filing that nail. I don't even know how that happened. I had to re-glue the nail with the peel off, because if I use glue, there's no taking that nail off. I'm going to have to file it off. And I like to keep my sets because I like to put them on my canvases to see my progress and see all the differences, different designs that I've created and whatnot. So I wasn't trying to be too harsh on the nails. I was trying to be very careful, especially with that pinky. That pinky had me nervous for the rest of the recording of the video. I'm not gonna lie. Even recording the finished look, I was like, oh my God, please don't pop off, because that's gonna be super embarrassing. Um, but I've told you guys that, my nails are for content only. Sometimes I do keep them. I've been looking for my the peel off that I usually use, which is the UNT one. I cannot find it on Amazon. So I'm gonna have to look for something else. I know there's a lot of gel based peel off, and those are good if you don't have product on your nails. But I do. I have hard gel on my nails. So gel sticks to gel. Even if it's a peel off, it's going to stick. Trust me. There was a time where, and again, this is just experience. I started doing my nails because I was damaging my nails because of how often I was removing the sets, because I wanted to create 2 videos per week. So that's a lot of work. Um, and what I ended up doing was I damaged my nail plate. And so I said, I'm just going to put something on my nails to prevent that from happening. And that's when I, you know, found that UNT peel off. But I don't know if it's the mat that I use on top of it that is causing it to lift faster. I'm gonna have to try base coat maybe on top of the peel off instead of matte, because they are popping off more easily, and that's something that it wasn't a thing before. I mean, it's a good thing, but at the same time, it's not, because if it pops off in the filing process, it's a problem. At least for me, it is. I was so nervous to file that nail and over file the cuticle area because, of course, it's not on my nail. So I don't know exactly how to perfectly shape it. So I was very, very nervous for that nail. Thank goodness it did not pop off again until I finished the video. And I usually do the finished look video, and then I do a second video for Instagram, and then I go ahead and I do a short video for YouTube. Then I take a few pictures and then I remove the sets. So that's pretty much how I work. And I'm glad that it lasted the entire rest of, the footage and the other videos and the pictures. And once I was done with that, I removed them really fast and it was incredibly easy to remove them. So again, I don't know if it's the mat. I am using a different mat. So maybe that's the reason why I'm not sure, bestie. Like, and I'm nervous to try new stuff because I used to use also the transfer glue, the Star transfer glue, which is air based, air dry. And it worked well, but it worked too well. It was hard to remove those nails. Like, I felt like as I was popping them off, that my nail, the product that I have on my natural nail, was going to rip off my nail. That's how hard it was. So I don't want to have to do that because that hurts. So I don't know. I'm gonna try the whole base coat thing and see how it goes. I'll let you know in the future video. So let's go to talk about the 3D flowers. So because I grabbed a lot of powder, I needed a little bit extra monomer in there. I did add acetone to the monomer so that they can dry a little bit faster. So I'm going to push down, then I'm going to turn my brush to the side. I'm going to create that line in the middle, and then I'm going to push both top sections of that petal together right at the top. And then I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to put a little bit of pressure to make it wider at the bottom. And then I'm going to do two other petals on each side, and I'm going to repeat the same process on the bottom part of the nail, and you're going to see that in the video. I'm also going to show you how I did the thumbnail, which is exactly the same way. And then what I did was off camera, I added some more rhinestones to the set. And then, of course, I did the flowers on the pointer finger, the middle finger, and the pinky. So going back to those flowers, oh my God, they were so hard for me to do. I'm so used to doing petals this big. Then when it was my turn to do something small, it was hard. Like, I didn't know. I was sometimes the brush had too much monomer, or the bead wasn't small enough, or sometimes it was too small. So it was hard. It was a hard process. So yeah. I mean, I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie. I think for this flower, I could have used the number 5 easily, and I would not have as many issues as I did. Um, with this brush. But then I think I need to start working with the number 2 and the number 5. That way, I'm able to do smaller flowers, because when you do small flowers, they're so pretty. They're so, so pretty. But I was kind of, I didn't think about it in the moment, and it was hard in the moment. It was hard. So I felt like sharing that with you because a lot of people see me doing 3D flowers and they probably think, oh, it looks so easy. Yeah, no, it's not. I have my days where I make beautiful flowers, and I have my days where I'm like, what the hell is this? you know it's like I can't win. So I hope everyone is having a wonderful day whenever it is that you're watching this video. Please give this video a like if you like the content. Subscribe if if you want to, and share it if you find it helpful. And yeah, that'll help my channel a lot. And I will be very, very, very grateful. I can't remember, excuse me, I can't remember if it was this nail that I ended up adding a little bit more powder to that petal. I can't remember. Or if maybe it was the other nail and I didn't realize it because yeah, it was this nail. So I needed a little bit more product on the nail to make it wider or a bigger petal. You can easily do a big petal with a number 4 brush, but it's a little bit more challenging. I don't want to say harder, but it'll be definitely a little bit more challenging. I did had a great time creating this set. I was incredibly tired because again, I woke up, it was like, I don't know, 2 o'clock in the morning. God knows why I woke up at that time. And then I was like, well, I can't sleep. So let me just record the video. Of course, you guys know that I suffer from a condition. I suffer from pain, and it's chronic pain actually. And so I take my breaks. And because I do that, I ended up finishing this set at like 6:30 in the morning. The the prepping part, I take my time and I don't rush. Actually, I don't rush when I'm doing my sets at all because I notice that whenever I'm rushing my sets, something goes wrong. And I don't want to do that because then, when you start making mistakes and you can't fix them, it becomes a problem. So after I finished this flower, I went ahead and I stopped recording because, again, doing small flowers is kind of new for me. I know it sounds weird, but I don't know why I decided to start with bigger flowers. I want to do a sunflower set. I know I did one last spring and I loved it. Um, that was the second time that I had, or third time that I recreated that set. I like to each year recreate several of my sets and see what else can I change, what else can I add, what is that new thing that I learned that I want to try this time on the set. So let me know in the comments if that's something that you would like to see. Or if there's anything else that you might like to see. Um, and I'll get to working on it, bestie. So again, I hope you guys are enjoying this video. I'm sorry for the rant earlier. I just felt it in my heart that I had to say something because there's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes pretty much that a lot of people are not aware of. A lot of people are sometimes feel jealous of the fact that we get products, but they don't really fully understand the responsibility behind it or the conditions, especially for someone who has a job, or even if you didn't have a job. Anyways, enough of that. Here is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I am so sorry. I know those flowers are looking a little weird, in my opinion. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of this set. Let me know which one was your favorite nail. Let me know if you like the color. Leave me a comment. I will answer your questions. And if I can, I point you in the right direction. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Love you. Bye.